We're back with our local Windsor expert, Aditya. The weather's hot right now in Windsor, as well as the real estate market's still pretty hot there.
Because of the vacancy rate, because of the the amount of rent that you're getting is lower, the prices haven't changed much from last year till now. So pretty much the price almost stayed same. That's why you see the low price range in this area. So that means it's a good buying opportunity. And the average price compared to last year increased by 24.79, which means if you purchased a property, put a 20% down, now you already made over 100% returns in 1 year. So I don't know where else you can get that appreciation.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and we're back with our local realtor expert in Windsor, Ontario, Aditya. He's going to break down for us everything going on in the Windsor market. And again, this is a reoccurring series, guys, so we're doing this every single month. If you want to stay up to date on what's going on in your local real estate market, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's jump into it with Aditya, where he's going to break down what's exactly going on in Windsor in 2021. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and we're back with our local Windsor expert, Aditya. Hey, how's it going, man?
Fantastic, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. So before we started shooting here, we were talking the weather's hot right now in Windsor, as well as the real estate market's still pretty hot there. So I know you've got a bunch of different information for us today. You've got a guide kind of breaking down the different neighborhoods, which I know the audience is going to love. They always love getting into the tactical details behind the neighborhoods. And then we're also going to just go over the general markets data and stats, right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, I've got your screen share up here. Let's pull it up and yeah, break down for us. You've essentially put together like an amazing neighborhood guide.
Yeah, so this is actually a mini guide. If you want to know like detail about Windsor, obviously I will leave the link in the description with like a full guide, but this is a mini guide that's like literally 5 minutes. You can read it through within 5-10 minutes.
Awesome.
So, and very, very powerful, especially for investors who are looking to buy, what neighborhoods, what price range, what rents. So those questions answered in this guide.
All right, talk us through the neighborhoods.
Sure. So let me so first of all, of course, to introduce myself, I'm Aditya Soma, Wind City real estate team owner and also real estate agent, investor as well. So here we put this guide together to really go over, what's going on in Windsor. What's good about Windsor. So many things that we love about Windsor. It's a border city, just sitting between U.S. and Canada. It's literally 5 minutes from Detroit downtown. Beautiful city. So, but let me get into the nitty-gritties that really anyone, probably I talked a lot about why Windsor in other videos, so I will straight dive into the neighborhoods. Just quickly, my team and here, communities. So first to start with West Windsor. So this is located west side of Windsor where University, Sandwich Town, all these neighborhoods. It's more popular for university students and also immigrant population and bridge workers, because West Windsor is located between two bridges, the existing bridge, and there is a new bridge construction going on that probably might go for another 5-6 years. So that's a perfect spot for someone looking for furnished rentals or student rentals, or even like, a regular family home rentals. So perfect spot. Still coming up, a lot of potential. I love this neighborhood because still you can find a single family homes for 250 to 400 range, because that is getting tougher in Ontario everywhere. And this is the neighborhood where you can still find, and duplexes too, like between 300 to 450. So we just have a property on contract for one of our clients, a duplex, of course, needs some work, needs some love. We got it for like 310, just in the same pocket. One of the reasons is because the neighborhood is still coming up, and cash flow is great because a duplex for 300, right? multifamily homes, of course, the inventory is very, very less for multifamily. But if you're wondering what's the price range per unit, I try to put together like it's a per unit basis, 110,000 to 200,000. So it's a broad range, I know, but mostly because there are so many variations, right? Like not one bedroom units, bachelor units. It could be the units that are nicely updated, the units that are not updated. So that's the range. Like, but typically you can get 110, 120 for a apartment building that has or lower rents or very value-adding opportunities. If it's like a turnkey, then you're looking on the high side.
And then, Aditya, before we move on from that, do you mind just touching upon, because again, when I think of West Windsor, I definitely know a lot of investors that went the student rental route in those neighborhoods. I know you've got a bunch of clients that do student rentals. In general, you know, what's the general perspective of student rental landlords in Windsor right now? Are they doing fine? Are they struggling because of COVID? What's that look like?
Yeah, very good question, Matt. So that's one thing. Yes, definitely there is a low, high vacancy compared to the rest of the city. That being said, I feel it's temporary. If you have like a 6-bedroom house, you can expect like 1 or 2 bedrooms vacant, or the rents before used to be like 500, 550, 600 per room if it's like nicer rooms. But now probably you gotta reduce your rents for like maybe 400, 450 because of the amount of students that are not coming because of the COVID situation. But once it's over, I'm pretty confident that we'll go back to normal because the students helps a lot for city economy. So I don't think city will let that go. So I don't think the study from home will become a reality, at least in Windsor. So that being said, because of the vacancy rate, because of the the amount of rent that you're getting is lower, the prices haven't changed much from last year till now. So pretty much the price almost stayed same. That's why you see the low price range in this area. So that means it's a good buying opportunity. The rest of the Windsor has appreciated. I'll get to that, like what's the last year appreciation, but appreciated really well, like 25%. So whereas student rental, it's now slowly started to pick up. I think now the inflows slowly started. So the demand is slowly getting there, but I feel like this is a good time for buying in. Only thing I would suggest is just keep some contingency fund, like 10,000, 15,000, so that even if your property sits vacant for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you can survive. So you're getting that discount on the price. So just make sure you have some funds set aside for a rainy day.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate you just kind of sharing that local perspective, because I know it's really easy to get caught up in a lot of just the drama of the situation. I love talking about the data. So again, maybe a little bit more vacancy, softening in rental prices, but it's not a complete catastrophe.
Yeah, no, not at all. I have a duplex and a couple of my clients have properties there. Like it's not complete vacant at all. Yes, there is vacancy. Just, if you're dropping your rents, probably it's rent out. And if you're being a little bit creative, especially like if you have duplexes or like kind of a multifamily, now you can just lower the rents and rent for a family. So now I did the exact same thing. Like I had a furnished rental, a 3-bedroom unit for 700. I just literally dropped it to 1,200 and rented out for a family. And in that area, even if I drop that difference, still my property makes over $500 cash flow. So I have that room.
Awesome. All right, tell us about downtown.
Okay, so this is I know most of the people who live in Windsor hate downtown just because it's still a lot of pockets that are like not that great. It's but one thing I can say is city is pumping in a lot of money and encouraging a lot of developers to do some improvements in this area. So which shows me that it's going to be a good place. Will be turning into a nice place probably in next few years. So because currently it's still like, there are junkies in the areas, you will see, homeless people. You will be hearing some stories like, people get into the houses and steal like, copper and all those things. Not that drastic, but it's just that it's still there. That being said, if you can find a property, make it nicer and rent it out for a nice family. There are immigrants live in this area too. So depending on whom you're targeting, if you can find a good tenant who is working or who has a steady stream of income, and make the place nice, make it secure, probably you can make a good cash flow in this area, and also ride the opportunity. Once the revitalization completes, your property values will go much higher. So it's work in progress, I would say. So that's why you see the prices are even lower, 200 to 350. Again, another thing is, if you're out of town, if you're not really, into the lower neighborhoods, probably don't touch this. But if you're like, just starting out, you don't have much money, this is the best place to start with. Put the energy, make the place beautiful. So this
opportunity for sweat
opportunity,
equity.
Exactly. Instead of waiting for a perfect location and waiting for saving that money, why don't you just work on finding a property decent as possible, making it beautiful, and rent it out for a good family. Then at least you're building that equity while you're waiting to save more money to get into a better neighborhoods.
Awesome.
So that's downtown, and pretty much downtown is like maybe I don't know how much, if you're aware of Windsor map, probably Aulet and Wyandotte and Riverside, it's like core downtown, and just like half kilometer on the right and left of the Aulet Avenue. And Central Windsor, so this is like between Walkerville and downtown. So that area is called as a Central Windsor. Also, this is competitive to downtown. This is my favorite area because downtown still is coming up, whereas Central, it's because it's like a border for Walkerville. So now Walkerville prices went up. So now people slowly cleaning up the the next neighborhood. So here you can find detached homes for 350 to 500, duplexes 400 to 550, which means you can make cash flow. Multifamilies, again, pretty much multifamilies are almost the same throughout the city, the range. But again, like I said earlier, it could vary. And the next community is East Windsor. This is East Windsor, kind of combination of multiple pockets. There are like, one pocket called Little River Acre. So that's neighborhood within the East Windsor, has detached homes, a small like 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses for like pretty much within under 350. And this price range is for more like overall 350 to 500, 550 detached homes. And there are like a lot of new developments happening in East Windsor. It's like a, majority of the new constructions are all happening in East Windsor. So detached homes selling from, and newer one selling from 500 to 700. Actually, last month it even went up. Some of them were even going for 800 for the newer ones. Semi-detached, you can find them as well, 350 to 500. Again, great neighborhood, nice school district, good place to call it a home. Unfortunately, in this neighborhood, you don't see much of a multifamilies. You don't see much of a duplexes. If you find one, you're lucky. But maybe you can find a single family home, convert into a duplex. That's a good potential to make a cash flowing property, and along with a good neighborhood. So which means that drives a good quality tenants. Tecumseh, again, Tecumseh is not part of Windsor, but it's like a neighboring city of Windsor. It's further east of Windsor. Again, beautiful community. One advantage of this neighborhood is like your taxes are lower compared to Windsor. Detached homes, again, older homes starting from 350 to 550 range, newer homes 500 to 700, semi-detached, pretty much similar as the East Windsor. Maybe you will find like a very minor differences in terms of prices, but fairly similar and nice family neighborhood. So just a quick thing, if you wanna like consider like a ratings of neighborhood, I would say like downtown is type C. West Windsor would be like, C plus. Central Windsor probably is C plus, B minus. East Windsor probably A minus, B plus. Same thing, Tecumseh. And Forest Glade, this is another my favorite neighborhood where like, a lot of parks and beautiful neighborhood as well. Similar price ranges to the Tecumseh and East Windsor. Coming to South Central, again, this is like an investor. Investors prefer this neighborhood because of the price point. It's a good neighborhood. Comparative to Central Windsor, South Central is better. So probably I would say B plus or B. You can see the semi-detached prices, detached home prices are lower than the East Windsor and Tecumseh. And South Windsor, this is a lot of people love South Windsor. Like one of the top neighborhood, like best neighborhoods in Windsor is South Windsor and LaSalle. So they're like pretty much A plus neighborhoods in Windsor because of these school districts. Like the top rated schools are located in South Windsor and LaSalle. That's why you see the price ranges. Actually, the older detached homes, 400 to 550. One thing that you could do, just like I mentioned earlier, maybe adding a secondary unit in the basement, and if possible, with minor variants, you can even do a garage into another unit, third unit. That's what I'm working on, a property that I purchased last month, closing actually this month. So planning to do the same thing in South Windsor, got it for like 550, but has a great potential because this bungalows, they qualify perfect for like, adding a secondary unit, the height and the grade entrance and all those things are existing.
Awesome.
LaSalle probably, and again, mostly if you're looking to move for yourself into the neighborhood, then these are the two neighborhoods like the great one. And quickly I'll touch on the rentals. So this is what, of course, to get to see if your property makes sense, if the cash flow makes sense, then you need to know. Again, these are like a average rentals that I put up here based on from my property managers and from myself, my properties rented out. So just it's an average data of what I got. So bachelors, $700 to $1,000. Again, 1,000 being like a nicely done, beautiful one. I haven't seen anything less than 700, no matter what condition it is in. One bedroom, 900 to 1,200. Again, there are some one bedrooms that even rented for like 1,300, 1,400. That people who do furnished rentals. But again, like I said, average 2 bedroom, 1,100 to 1,300. There are 2 bedrooms that even rented for 14, 15, even 1,600. Depending on if it's like a really nice 2-bedroom unit and good size, and depends on the amenities. But these are like very conservatively you can get these rents with a minimal work. 3 bedrooms, same thing. Again, this are apartments like when you have a multi-families, right? For those rents. And if you have a single family home, like now it's a detached, so your rents are a little bit higher because they are getting they have more privacy comparative to the within the building. So 2 bedrooms, 1,200 to 1,400, 3-bedroom units, 1,500 to 1,900, 4-bedroom, 16 to 2,200. There are houses even go for 2,500, 600, but again, as an investor, I try not to focus on those numbers because that could easily get vacant, when they move or, find another place. But these are like pretty standard rents that I've been seeing.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate you breaking it down for us. And then obviously, like any real estate market, location's a big factor as well. I'm assuming those nicer neighborhoods likely get the nicer rents, and the lower end neighborhoods are probably getting the lower rents.
Exactly.
Awesome. And then, yeah, you've still got your own YouTube channel, right, that you're making content on?
Oh yeah, I'm making a lot of content, especially I talk a lot about Windsor, and I talk a lot about my own personal investments, I show my property tours and all those things. Yeah, definitely feel free to follow there.
Awesome, Aditya. Well, I appreciate you breaking down the neighborhoods for us. So you've also got some of the stats for the month of February for us to check out?
Yes. So here's the stats. Again, you can find the stats online too. A lot of investors, they would like to do their own research. So just go on to windsorrealestate.com. That's a public website. So you can even find 2016, 17, 18, 19 data. I don't want to go over all those things, but I'll just quickly run these numbers here. So if you see here, compared to last year, the new listings still down, which means the inventory is still low by 5%, 5.9%. The property sold or 9% more, which means it shows, still the supply is low, the demand is still high. And the average price compared to last year increased by 24.79, which means if you purchased a property, put a 20% down, now you already made over 100% returns in 1 year. So I don't know where else you can get that appreciation. Of course, it's bonus, but very good size bonus.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for people to understand that in these hot markets, when we are seeing these high prices, it's more important than ever to be looking at this data, right? Because I think it's very easy for someone to just want to say 25% increase is unbelievable. This has to be a bubble. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but when I look at the data right now, it definitely doesn't look like that bubble's about to pop, right? When we've got less listings and we've got more transactions, it's actually squeezing us on both ends, right? And we're like, if anything, it seems like the perfect recipe for more pressure on pricing. And again, no one's got a crystal ball, but it's really interesting to look at this data, and it seems as if it indicates that the pricing right now is sustainable, at least for the short term.
Yeah, that's a great point, Matt. And I just want to add to it. Many people ask me the same question, like, is it a good time to buy, or is it a good time to sell? One, if you have like a bunch of properties, there are some bad apples that if you don't want to keep continuing, probably this is the time. Maybe get those bad apples out. You will get the best returns. You already made your money, and pump it to the another one. But if you're a first-time investor, if you haven't ever invested, timing the market is not an ideal situation. Even the best all-time best investor in the world, Warren Buffett, says this. Even he says that he couldn't time the market. All you can do is do the numbers, wherever the numbers make sense, buy the property, and add the value to it, sit on it over the time. No matter what happens to the market, you will make money. And that being said, what I see, what I feel is where the market is going towards. At least I feel for next 2 to 3 years, I don't think it's gonna really burst. At least, again, that's my personal opinion from what I have seen. One of the major reason I feel that way is the immigration population. Because this is all, the prices are going up just because of the demand and supply. One of the major factor. And inflation, of course. The Canadian government announced that they're going to bring 1 million people in next 2 to 3 years. Out of that 1 million, majority of them comes to Ontario. So that means that I don't think supply will increase that drastically. And most of the people that Canadian government is bringing in, they are all like well qualified people who will get a job immediately, within no time and start making money. That means they'll be looking into buying homes. Recently, the CRA gave 27,000 PRs for people who are working in Canada. Generally, they give like 2,001 in a one draw. They gave like right at 27,000. That's like huge, because that shows me that Canada is being very smart, bringing in people who work hard and pay the taxes. That helps in return for the whole economy. So.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate you sharing that insight, Aditya, and just kind of breaking down the general Windsor market. Reminder, guys, Aditya is kind of our go-to local Windsor expert. So if you guys want to reach out to him, we've got links to all his contact information in the video description down below. Before we wrap up this video, Aditya, anything else you want to just kind of tell the audience, whether it's about general real estate investing or the Windsor market specifically?
Yeah, I mean, in general, don't let the noise take you down, because there's so much noise out there, so much fear. Just stick to your instincts, stick to the numbers, keep analyze the properties. If you're looking to buy, just, make as many offers as possible. There are properties out there. Don't let some people around you who didn't invest tell you that you cannot do it. So same thing true in Windsor too. So there are a lot of people who will tell you, not to buy. It's but it's been only 5 years, the market appreciation going on. So personally, just do the numbers.
Yeah, it's really important you understand what you're trying to accomplish or achieve as a real estate investor. And if the deal fits within your business model, you should execute. If it doesn't, you should either negotiate or move on. So again, really appreciate you sharing your insights, Aditya. Link to all his contact information in the video description down below. And he'll be back next month breaking down more stats and more information about the Windsor real estate market.
Yeah, until then, make sure you download that mini guide and a full guide to, understand more about Windsor.
Yeah, and we'll put a link in the video description. Again, I love the fact you put that resource together for the audience.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aditya.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for having me.
Thanks again to Aditya for taking the time to shoot this video. If you guys want to get in contact with him, all his contact information is in the video description down below. Go reach out to him. Again, it's important that you guys reach out before you're ready to buy. Way too often people wait until they're ready to pull the trigger on that property, then reach out to a realtor. It's better to start building the relationship earlier on. That way they actually know, like, and trust you already, rather than you just being a cold phone call that's like, no, trust me, I'm a serious buyer, even though this is the first time you're hearing from me. So again, reach out to Aditya, reach out to our other realtor sponsors in our other cities, and we'll see you guys in the next video.